This is Redmond House, a dignified relic of old decency, hidden away in the heart of County Wexford. It's now the romantic setting for a small band of refugees from the 70s and from the big bad world. The project, called the Inish Glass Trust, is part of an international charitable foundation meant to provide an island of sanity for those who, disillusioned with modern living, seek to find themselves through balance with the forces of nature. They're into organic farming and handcrafts. The people here are of different backgrounds and religions, but they are bound together under the rule of a turn-of-the-century German philosopher, Rudolf Steiner, who, among other philosophical tenets, held that social illness arises from claiming payment for one's work. Steiner predicted that there would be a need for land-based communities where the renewal of social, spiritual, and scientific life should be the order of the day and away with wages. Founder member Englishman Anthony Kaye Steiner's vicar on earth, or you could call him perhaps a latter-day Canute. He has tried this before at Killurin in County Kilkenny, but the economics of modern agriculture won the day. The pig. They must be two of the happiest pigs in Ireland. They're not going to go to a slaughterhouse for quite some time.
Yeah, they're getting the back scratched. Yeah.
Anthony, here we are in idyllic surroundings in Redmond House. And it seems as if there's an organic farm here, but it's not just an organic farm. What exactly is going on and what's the purpose of it?
I think you will experience, maybe not just in a few hours, but you would if you lived here, that to work with animals and to work with plants and the land, the soil, teaches you a great deal. And our life today has become so removed from many natural things which can teach us that I think that a great opportunity exists for social organization where people care for one another and where the work is the scene that can heal effects of over-mechanization or lack of understanding of the mechanization of a society.
Well, what is your philosophy?
Well, the philosophy, I would say, is to see what unfolds from other people. I say to the other trust members who are with me here at Inish Glass, I decided to work freely with you, and because I decided to work freely, I look to you for guidance. And if they feel like it, they look to me for guidance.
It sounds very religious. Is it a religious trust or a religious organization?
Everyone has their own religion, and that's their own affair. But what we do together is to decide how to run the place, how the work should be organized, and in what way we want to conduct our affairs. And I think people can develop themselves as they want to be if you give them the space to do it. And therefore people become real individuals because they have space. Well, no one determines what way they will become, you see, except themselves.
But is it not a very kind of dropout philosophy? Is it not a bit dated as the kind of hippie thing of dropping out and finding yourself and all that sort of thing?
Well, I think that I would say it depends what you mean by hippie organization. Certainly, I think work must become a form of love. But free living in the sort of hippie sense, I think, is not what we're interested in. Because we find we have to work very hard and we have to have quite a tight discipline.
So this is not a commune where people change around wives and things?
Well, no one said it so far.
Ideology apart, 12 arable acres of land and this charming collection of farmyard animals are hardly a viable economic proposition. However, since last Easter, Redmond House has been supporting 7 permanent Inish Glass Trust members as well as occasional visitors. And anyway, no one here is interested in economic benefit. Spiritual nourishment is the order of the day. Simple tasks are glorified to the exclusion of the machine and the microchip. Steiner's philosophy is all about finding a balance with nature and ourselves. A nice idea, of course, but we can't all live in conditions as ideal for the experiment as Inish Glass. However, the people here don't seek converts. Rather, they hope to reveal their truth by good example and by providing natural and organic food for the people of Wexford in their small health food store in the town. But they'd prefer, of course, if no money had to change hands at all. Ideally, they'd like customers to make contributions to the trust, which would then entitle them to first choice of surplus from the farm. The question is, will there be any surplus? How does all this balance of nature work in practical terms?
For example, in nature, that things complement one another, they help each other, and therefore if you grow onions next to carrots, for example, the carrot fly doesn't become a pest, he becomes in a way a help. For instance, if you see a carrot with a pest, you know then that there's something not right with the carrot, it's not healthy. The pest isn't the fault, it's the carrot.
Ronan from County Cork was a professional horticulturalist in the commercial and very competitive world of market gardening for 6 years. Then he came here. What's the attraction for him?
You can't just take the plant and its immediate needs, its nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus needs into account just alone. You have to take the whole plant into account. You have to take the soil into account. You have to take the environment into account.
So you're saying that the kind of things that we get in supermarkets, the kind of normally the kind of vegetables we buy in our cities, that in fact that they're just not good for us?
I'm not saying that exactly. What I'm saying is they're not good for me.
Well, in what way would you see normal commercial horticulture doing damage to the plants and to the consumers?
Well, take strawberry growing as a practical example. DDT is still recommended treatment on strawberries for ailments, and it's a food that people eat. Yet and DDT is very dangerous, but people are still spraying DDT on our strawberries, and they're the strawberries you buy in your supermarket.
So even washing them well doesn't get rid of it?
Well, not really. No.
You wouldn't
no.
eat?
I should hope that I would have organic strawberries to eat soon.
Is there any danger you could become institutionalized here?
There's every danger. It's very, very important that we maintain contact with the community around us and do as much as possible to integrate with the community around us.
The experience from other parts of the world shows me that people, when they have whole foods and foods that are grown naturally, really become more healthy. And there's outstanding amount of evidence from all over the world to show that whole foods, the foods that haven't been tampered with and that have not been chemically sprayed, and for example, when you grow food properly, the plants don't attract pests in the same way at all. All these things then, when taken by the human being, give him a health which then doesn't make him run for the doctor and so on. And his,
so you mean makes the person a stronger and better person?
And we want to play that sort of part in society in Ireland.
Well, it sounds wonderful, and it would be wonderful if we could all just barter our talents. But surely if everybody took that view, or you converted everybody overnight, society would completely break down.
But you won't convert everyone overnight, so it's very simple, you see. It happens slowly.
So you're not an anarchist, then?
No, I'm a very private-minded anarchist. I think that, you see, people are all kinds of stages, like the plants in the fields and the trees. They all come to fruit and flower at different times. At least they come to flower at different times. And, you know, every flower has its time. And it's the same with human beings, I think, that they come to a certain kind of thinking when they're ready for it. And so, therefore, we're just keen to help in the pollination, if you like.
Wish I were back on the farm. Oh, I wish I were back on the farm. If you wanna learn your lesson and hear what I'm confessing, oh, I wish I were back on the farm. Now I was just a hayseed, we a straw stuck